everyone. Let's begin our session today. With a relaxation technique. Let's turn within. And focus on our first and foremost responsibility. Which is towards ourselves. Which is inner peace, happiness, and stability. So, as we have turned within, we are sweeping everything else aside. And only giving importance to our inner peace. By going in silence. Deep silence. Where all thoughts gradually settle down. So we are turning within. And either we are feeling the energy of peace, or we must be experiencing thoughts randomly popping up here and there, taking our attention. But let's redirect our attention to one word, one thought: silence. The thoughts come again, and we reiterate just one word: silence. we redirect our attention to ourselves. Coming to that self-inquiry of who am I? When I turn within, and I've left everything behind, who am I now? I am not my thoughts. So who am I? As I have turned within, in this state of emptiness, where there's nothing left to define me, nothing external, because I've turned within. I've disassociated from the thoughts that are popping and wandering. They can come. I just don't give my attention to them. My mind could be in 1,000 different places, trying to grab my attention. But I'm not giving my attention. My attention is on just one word: silence and peace. So, whatever's left in this empty state, in this emptiness, that is me. It is not something to define. Who am I? It is what I experience when I turn within and only focus on myself. Not the bodily element, not that physical self, But as I shut down my awareness, from every external aspect, as I turn within, what do I feel? The moment I turn within, what do I feel? This is me. Turn within. And quietly observe where my attention and how subtly it can get dragged by my mind. How subtly my own energy of stillness how it gets buried in the layer of mind and bodily existence and associations to everything external. I am that innermost layer of stillness, empty, empty of everything. I don't have to struggle to maintain this state. If I'm struggling, I'm not doing it right. All I have to do is drop everything, leave everything behind. No struggle, just drop everything. Leave everything behind and become empty. This is me. My first and foremost responsibility is to feel myself, my true self, my true identity. I have to spend time with myself. Because that's the only way, the one and only way. To address any issue in life, and to be able to live this life free from all negative feelings, thoughts, disturbances, stress, anxiety, confusion, conflicts, free from all of this energy. Living life in its true purpose, to express and experience our inner qualities of peace. Feel the energy of peace, of happiness. Feel the energy of happiness, of love. Feel that energy of innermost bliss, of power, innermost strength, of wisdom. That comes from inner stability. Of purity. That is the opposite of all negative energies. This is who I am, and I will only realize the self when I turn within, drop everything, leave everything behind, and in this state of emptiness, I allow myself to feel myself. So the more time I spend with myself, this energy when I turn within, I'm not only relaxed, but I am empowered and more wise, well equipped to enact my role in this physical body. And direct everyone's energy towards positivity and stability. That's the true purpose of my life. enacting my role from a state of inner peace and stability, from happiness and love. So let's gradually bring our attention back into this session with a very relaxed and calm mind, and enact our role as students and bring our awareness back into this world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sister Raki. That was really a very nice meditation. And we are all ready for learning the next concepts today. So it is really, you'll be able to focus very nicely. So that's why we have the meditation at the starting, so that we can concentrate and focus in the session, the concepts which we are going to learn. And welcome to the 10th session of Python programming. I hope everyone is doing fine. Hi, everyone. How's everybody? Doing great? Yeah. Hi, Riyansh. Hi, Manjeet. Welcome all. Hi, Vaibhav. Perfect, perfect. All right. So we will begin the session like we always start with the revision. So in the last session, we started with learning F strings. You know, we learned what exactly is F string in Python. And then we studied about sets, how to create a set in Python, the syntax. We studied about some of the methods on sets and dictionary, introduction to the dictionary. We will just continue from there. And today we will learn some of the methods on dictionary. So this is how it is going. First of all, we studied about variables. Then we studied about list. Then methods on list. After that, tuples, methods on tuples. Then sets, methods on sets. Then dictionary, methods on dictionary. So this is a series which we have to follow. Today, let's see some of the methods which we can perform on the dictionary. Now, like we discussed in the last session, what is a dictionary? So everyone must be clear about it, what exactly it is. Can someone just write in the chat box, what is a dictionary? Mhm. Okay. You must have attended the session. If you have attended the session, then you have learned it. Key value pairs. Very good, Manjul. Yeah. So in a dictionary, all the elements are represented as a key and a value pair. They both come in a pair together. Like, from the word you can find out dictionary, the Oxford dictionary which we have at home. So whenever we are confused with an English word, with some English jargons, we'll just open the dictionary and we'll try to find out the meaning of that word. So you have the word and you have the definition, the meaning of that particular word. So that's how we just come to understand its meaning. Similarly, in Python also, you have dictionary. You have some key and then you have its particular value. So it can be anything. So say, for example, you want to make a list of all the employees in the company along with their employee ID and the name. So how you do it? First, the employee ID will be the key and the name of the employee will be the value. So like that, there are 50 employees or 100 employees. So you can just create a dictionary in that manner. Okay, or the student, the roll number and the particular student. Like that, we can create a dictionary. Okay, so let's see some operations on the dictionary. Let me share my Replit. Okay, I hope everyone is writing the code also, along with understanding in the session. Please open Replit parallelly and you can write the code along with me. Okay, so in the last session, we are just going to create a dictionary like how we created in the last session. Okay, that's the syntax. I'll just write the name. First, the name. So you can write any names. So since it's a string, you have to just give that within single quotes. Then age, you can write let me just change this one. Okay, so don't give the same values. Okay, you can give your own values also. That's fine. Now, what if I just want to print the whole dictionary? So I'll just go there and I'll write print info, the name of the dictionary. If I click on run, that is the dictionary we get as the output. Okay, now I just want to access the keys, only the keys of this dictionary. That means the name and the age. I just want to access the keys of the dictionary. So what I'll do, I'll just again print. I will use the print here. And info, I will write dot keys like that. Let's run. So you can see it is showing ticked keys, name and age. It is only going to give me the keys of the dictionary, particularly. All right, so we can access the keys like that. Now, if I just want the values, only the values. So info, instead of keys, I'm going to change that into values. All right, let's run the code. So it gives me ticked values, Mehul and 50. That's what you can see here, Mehul and 50. That is the output. This is the way you can access only the values. Now overall, I just want the keys and the values together. So what I'll do, info, the name of the dictionary, and then I'll write items. So see, it gives ticked items. It is giving me the output along with the key and the value. Both of them will be printed. Okay, so this is how we can access any particular key or a value. Make sense? Yes, no? Ah, very nice, very nice. Cool, cool, very good. So I hope you're writing the code. We will be just giving some small gap so that you can write the code parallelly. All right, now let's create another dictionary. So say for example, E1, the name equals to, I will just give some random number here, 122, comma, 44. Now, there's another E1. Let me write as, okay. We have two dictionaries here. Now, yes. So we want to perform the update method. Right now we are seeing some of the methods on the dictionary. So everyone can please mute yourself so that we don't have any disturbance in the session. I think some noise from Vivek is, we can hear some noise from Vivek. Vivek, you can please mute yourself. Very nice. So we are going to use the update method here. So what I'll do, I'll just take, okay, I'll put it as E2 there. Now, E1, I'll write E1 dot update. I'll write the keyword update. And since it's a method, so I'll just write that brackets. Inside the brackets, I'm going to write the E2. That means update my E1 with E2. So I'll just simply write E2 there. Let's run the code. So you can see here, okay, and then wait, I have to just print. So you can see the E1 has been updated. 122, 125, 555, 650. After 650, see, just look carefully. After 650, 222 has been added. Okay. And then also 566 have been added. 566 and 90 is there. So what I'm doing, I'm just updating my E1 with E2. For this, we can use the update method. All right, like that, we will just see some of the methods. There are so many methods. We will see some of the methods. Now, next one is the clear method. See, it is very similar. Some of the methods we have already used in tuples and sets, also in list. Okay, so same thing goes with dictionary also. Now, what if I write here E1 dot clear? Okay, let's see what's the output. I will comment this out. So it gives me nothing. That means everything has been cleared, deleted. All the elements have been deleted. Now, if I just try to print E1 now, what will happen? If I try to print E1 now, someone can answer. Blank? I need that proper word. Null? Error. Yes, Rayansh. Very good. So we are going to get, okay. So not error. So it will give you empty dictionary. It is simply going to give you empty dictionary. It won't show you the error. So this is the output we will get. if you use the clear method. Okay, very good. Next one, creating an empty dictionary. If you want to create an empty dictionary, I can simply write here EMP and then equals to, I can simply give the brackets and let me just print it. Okay, in this manner, I can create an empty dictionary. So you can see this one is for the E1 and the second curly brackets is for EMP. This is the way you can, yes, you can create an empty dictionary, nothing inside it. All right. So first update, second clear, and the third one is to create an empty dictionary. Next, we are just going to use the pop method. See, pop we have used previously also. So in dictionary also we are using pop. Now, what if I just write here, instead of clear, I will write pop. And I will mention a particular key. I'm going to mention a particular key there. So I'll write 122. Let's see the output. So you can see that key value has been deleted. It is going to remove the key and value pair, the pop method. So you have to specify the particular key. I have just given 122. So in E1, 122 has been gone. You can see 125, 555, and 650 is the output. So pop we use to remove a key value pair. Okay, perfect. Now after this, there is another one, which is pop items. So what does the pop item do? Can anyone make a guess? Let's see, run. It will simply it is not items, it is item. Okay, so you don't have to mention that S. So it will simply remove the last key value pair. Yes, very good, Praful. So 650 has been removed. You can see 122, 125, and 555 is the answer. 650 is not there. So pop item is going to take out the last key value pair from the dictionary. Okay, so there's a difference between pop and the pop items. Pop items will work only for the last key value pair. All right, now here, one more thing, like how we saw in the tuples and sets, we can see here, we can use a del keyword. If I simply write here, del E1, now what will be the output? This time it will throw error. Is not defined at all because it has been deleted. It's not there at all. So why you are printing this? This dictionary has been deleted. Now there's nothing, it's blank. So that's the del keyword. It is going to remove the whole dictionary itself. Okay, but there is another thing. Yeah. You have to just mention along with the del, you have to mention the particular key. If you don't mention the key, the whole dictionary will be deleted. If you don't provide key with the del keyword, then it is going to remove the whole dictionary. So what simply I can do, I have given E1. Now I will mention the particular key here. So I will write 122. Okay. Now I'm going to print my E1. Let's see the output. So in this case, I'm getting the output. Okay, so it has performed the pop items. 650 has been removed, last one. And then we are using the del. Along with the del, we are specifying the key. So it removes 122. So you get the output as 125, 90, 555, 76. That is the output. So that's a very minute difference. If you just give the del, it will remove the whole dictionary. But along with the del, if you specify the key, it will only remove that particular key and the value. Okay. So in short, if key is not provided, then del will delete everything. Please make notes. I hope everyone is having a notebook and a pen with. You have a notebook and pen with you, I hope. So you can just make notes. Just one line you can write. If key is not provided, then del will delete everything. If key is not provided, then del will delete everything. Okay, so these are the methods we have seen. Please make notes. I would request to make notes because it will really help you after the session. You can go through your notes and you can just revise whatever you have studied. And it will help you in future also. After 1 week, after 2 weeks, if you just open that notebook and you go through, you will be able to recall all the concepts which you have studied. So it's very important to make the notes. And also possible, write the code in your notebook. Write in the computer screen also using the keyboard, and write on your notebook also the code. Perfect. So these are the methods which we have seen. I hope it is clear. Okay, so everyone has written the code. Yes, no? Very good, very good. All right. Now, the next concept which we will study is using else with the for loop. Now, previously, if you remember, if you are following all the series, all the sessions properly, and if you're watching the recordings provided, so you must have, you can recall that we have used else with a while loop. We used else with a while loop. Now, today, we will use else with a for loop. Okay, let's write the for loop quickly. For I in range, I'm going to write just some value there, say for example 6. Okay, and then I'll write print RE, and then after this I want to use the else. So okay, let's see the output now. So I can see here for I in range 6, that means it will start from 0 and it is always going to go till n minus 1. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will be printed. Now, what's happening after that? We are using the else. So after the successful completion of the for loop, the else will be printed. Kindly pay attention. When each and every iteration has been completed successfully, so we can see there are, how many iterations are there? 6 iterations are there. And when the last iteration has been executed successfully, then the else will be printed. That's very important. Okay, let's try to change this code. Instead of range, I will just write a list there. Let me write this in this way. So you can see list is empty, so nothing is printed. It directly prints the else. This is printed because there is nothing in the list. All right, so after that, let me just change this one like we had before. Print I. Then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use the if statement here and I will use the break keyword. I'm just going to break this loop at a particular situation. So I'll write if I equals to 4. I want to break the loop when I becomes 4. So I'll simply use what? What I'll use here? If I want to break my loop, how can I do that? Very good, Praful. Very nice. I will use the break keyword. Okay, simply break keyword. Let's see the output. Okay, now see what's happening. When I becomes 4, the loop breaks there, but the else is not printed. The else is not printed. Why? Why it
Because
is
break
not
is
printed?
to end the text, end the command.
Yeah, break means the loop will break. That's correct. Okay, okay. See, what's happening here? We have given I in range 6, right? So, like I said, after successful completion of all the iterations, here the iteration has not been completed successfully. Yeah, at 4 it is breaking. 6 times there are 6 iterations. It's not completed. So the else will not be printed. Else will only be printed when all the iterations have been completed here. There are 6 iterations. 6 iterations are not completed here because we are breaking at 4. So the else will not be printed. Okay, so this is how we have to just understand using the else with the for. All right, now instead of for loop, let's use the while loop. With the while loop also we can, we will be getting the same thing. It will work the same thing with while also. So I'll just write I equals to 0. Then let me use the while loop there. Print I, and let me just do the increment also. I think. So here also we will get the same thing. Okay, it won't print if it is breaking somewhere between. All right, now if I don't break it, if I don't use the break, then it will print the else. Okay, you can simply remove this comment out. Don't use the break. Then this is the output we will get. All right, so this is using else with the for loop. Perfect. So hope everyone is written the code. Just a gap of few seconds and then we'll move to the next concept, which is a very important one. Next concept is about exception handling. Exception handling. We will study what exactly is this exception handling. Okay, let me just share one thing. Okay, exception handling. Let's read the definition. Is the process of responding to unwanted or unexpected events when a computer program runs. There is something unwanted which is happening in your program while execution. So we can just use exception handling. We can handle that situation. What it can be? It can be some error or some unexpected event. You might encounter with the error and your program just stops there. So what to do? In that case, we will use exception handling. So it is going to deal with these events to avoid the program or system crashing. We don't want our program to crash. So we need exception handling for this. Now, Python has many built-in exceptions that are raised when your program encounters an error. All right. So you can see here Python try and except. We can simply use try and except in this case. What exactly it is? Let's see. So say for example, let me write. I'm just asking the number from the user. And I will be using an F string here. We all know what is F string. F string, you can just use variables inside a string. Simple. Okay. So I will just write F and string. That means within double quotes, I'm just going to write my string. Again, I'll use the F string here. All right. So enter the number. I'll just enter as 4. So you can see the output. Okay. There is some error here. Just a moment. I'm just getting an error here. No, wait. Just a moment. I'll just write int there. Okay. So what I'm doing here, first of all, I'm not mentioning the data type here. I'm just getting an int from the user. So by default, this input function is a string. So I will just convert that into integer here. And then I'm printing the multiplication table. Now what's happening, instead of writing a number, I will just write some string there. I'm not going to enter a number. It is expecting a number, right? Enter the number. I'll just write some string. Say for example, hello. Okay, so you get error here. Now we just want to handle this situation. There is an error. Now our program is just going to interrupt in between because it has encountered a value error, invalid literal for int with base 10. So I have given a string, it is expecting an integer. So it gives me an error. So what to do? In this case, we can just use the try and except. Okay. Now say for example, after this also, there is some line of code which is there. Okay. Something is written. So I will just write print Okay. So what's happening? Let's run the code now. Let's purposefully give a string there to understand this case. So error. Now what's happening at this particular line? Say for example, this is the 36th line. Our program is crashing there. The execution stops there and nothing is printed after that. So it will just halt. Our program is halting at this particular line. So this is a problem. So we want to deal with this problem. So we can use exception handling in this case. That means using try and except. So what you have to do, wherever you think the error is happening, wherever there is a possibility of the error which can occur, you have to just put those blocks inside the try. Okay, so here I can see definitely I'm getting some error from these lines. So these lines I will put inside the try. So what I'm going to do on top of it, I will just write the keyword try, and then that colon is very important. And then you have to, give the indentation also. That's important. Try, and then after that, I'm going to write except. Except keyword, and then I'll write exception as E. And then print E. Okay, let's deal with the situation. Now let's run the code. So if I write a string, then it says, now there is no error. I have given a string there. Before, when there was no try and except, it was showing us the error. But this time I have given try and except, and I have given a string there, but it says multiplication table, so and so, whatever I have printed here, this will be printed, and then invalid literal for int with so and so. So that's an error. It is just telling the error, but our program is not going to halt. It prints this next thing, few lines of code and end of the program. You can see it is printed, few lines of code and the end of the program. So we have just handled this error using try and except. This is called exception handling in Python. Make sense?
Anurag, I want to ask one question. If
Mhm.
I don't do indentation, then the output will be same or different?
Sorry?
If I do not perform the indentation, okay, so output will be same or will be different in that way?
This indentation you are asking?
Yeah, yeah. If I
Yeah.
put print two gaps before, because I go through a class one what you told there, and there's a difference in class one you told now that 0 to 1 then print Happy New Year. So I do that program and I do not do the indentation there. So after 0 Happy New Year comes, then 1 Happy New Year comes, then I do the indentation, then at last Happy New Year comes. So that's why I'm asking.
No, here, if you remove the indentation, then definitely you will get the error, no? Because that's the syntax you have to follow. Indentation
Mhm.
error you will get.
Yeah, indentation.
So you have to follow the proper syntax. So this indentation is important. You can just give a tab there and then it's fine.
Yeah, I'm saying that sometimes output will be different if we do not perform the indentation. Like if print is put before the 4, below the 4, sorry.
Huh,
So
huh.
maybe sometimes.
Yes, so indentation is nothing but, in how, let me just annotate here. See, when you use C++, so I'm just going to the C++ now. Don't get confused. See, in C++, what's happening? If you use the if statement, then you have to use this curly brackets, and then you have to write all those things. Okay, so indentation is just nothing but a representation of this curly braces. In Python, you don't have to give curly braces. You just simply write the if statement and you give that condition, and that indentation is just representation of this curly braces. That means from here, your if statement is going to start. That's why this indentation is important in Python. In Python, we never use this curly braces. This just means that your body of if statement starts from here. So
Yeah,
indentation is important.
yeah, thanks, Anurag.
Okay. Very good. So, and like that, we should have questions in our mind and we have to try to get the answers. Sometimes we get, sometimes we don't get. So we have to keep moving forward and we have to just write the code. Then it makes more sense. Now here we have got to see the output is showing. If I just write, uh,
Sorry to interrupt, sir. I have a question related to the previous question. Suppose you don't indent the print statement. Uh, Line number 37. You start just below 4. Then also there is an error, but the exception handling is not taking into account that indentation error.
we can use, see, we can use here, that's what I will come to. Here, we are just handling a particular type of error here. We can handle multiple errors here also.
No, I mean in line number 37. Suppose you don't indent the print statement. Can you please, if you run the program without indenting the print statement, it will show an indentation error. But at the same time, we have it under the try block. So ideally, it should be a smooth this thing, no, running the program. It is in the try indentation, but outside the for indentation.
See, I'm just trying to explain something here. That's a correct question which you are asking. See, if I just give here, if I just remove this indentation, if I run the program, okay, so then the program is not executing itself. It's just giving me an error here. But if I just remove this, if I write my syntax properly, then my program is running. And then we can just check, we can understand the try and except concept. So that's what I'm trying to explain here. And I'm not done with it. So next thing which I'm going to do is that exception as E, which I have written, and then see here I can just print a statement also. Instead of E, I can just write within double quotes, I can just write some statement. So some error is there. Okay, so this statement can also be written instead of E. So let's run this code. Now, if I just write some purposefully, I'm trying to give wrong input. So I'll write Y. So it gives some error is there. That particular statement has been given. Okay. So let's understand the concept perfectly first. And then, so that's the difference. Previously, I had just written E there. Now I have written some statement related to the error. And still our program is running, even if we have given a wrong input there. So we have just used exception handling here. Now, next thing, what I'm going to do is that instead of using this exception as E, I will just use except. Okay. And then I'm not going to write that statement exception as E. No, I've removed it. And then here I will just write invalid. Okay, invalid input. Let's run the code. Now also I'll just give some wrong input. So it gives invalid input. So in this case also it is going to work. So we wrote except exception as E. We printed the E there. And then the second thing, we removed the E. We just printed a statement. Now in the third case, we have removed exception as E. And we have just again given a statement in the except block. Okay, so this is how we can use exception handling. And also we can handle multiple, we can just use multiple except here. We can handle multiple errors. That also can be done. So let's see how to do that. Okay, so what I'll do, let me just write this thing. Enter an integer. I've just put that inside try. And I'm just going to handle a value error here. So I'll write value. Okay. Now I will just purposefully give wrong input. Number entered is not an integer. So there it has just handled the value error in this case. Okay, so this is how we can use the try and except. Now next thing what I'll do, let's try to just make some changes here. So I'm going to write a list there. And I'll write print. I'm just going to print the index of A. A is the list I have created. And then value error, it is going to handle the value error. Now, I can also add multiple except here according to my wish. So let's do it. index error. Let's run. So first what I'm going to do, let's give me a correct input here. So it is asking enter an integer. So there is a list a equals to 8 and 9. And then print a of num. So the num I'm asking from the user. So if I write 0 there, it is going to print. Let's see the output. It will print 8 because that's the 0th index in the list. Okay. Now purposefully, let me just give a wrong input there. Instead of an integer, I'm going to put a string. Okay, let's see. So it gives me entered number is not an integer. It goes to the this value error except block and it prints number entered is not an integer. Okay, so I can handle a specific kind of error also. So right now I have got a value error. So it is just printing the block which is there in the value error. Now say for example, another case, if I just write here 1, then 9 will be printed because a of 1 is 9. Now let me again just give the value as 4. Let's run. Let's see. So here we get index error because there is no index called 4 there. It has only 2 index, 0 and 1. There is no 4th index. So it gives me the index error. It goes to the except block of the index error and it prints index error. Okay, I hope it is making sense. In the first case, there was a value error. I gave a string, so it gave me number entered is not an integer. In the second case, the index is not available in the list. So it gives me this thing. Value means value, no? It is asking an integer, but I am giving a string. So that's the value error. An index means that that particular index is not present. See 4. 4 is not there, right? It has only 2 index, 0 and 1. 4 is not there. So it gives me index error. So in this way, we can handle errors.
Yeah, so Anurag, actually, if you remove the value error, okay,
Huh?
let's say right now actually we have value error mentioned there, okay, after except. So if you remove that value error and if you run the program, will it make any difference? Because right now it is printing number enter is not an integer, okay. So if you just remove the value error and if you run the program, then what difference it will make?
Let's do it. It gives syntax. So we have to mention that particular error.
Okay. But I guess in previous code, I guess we only mention except. Correct. In previous code, we tried with except only. We haven't. If I'm not wrong, I mean actually probably I might have overlooked, but
Yes. But here we have to mention. Here we have to mention that particular error. So the value error is there. So even if I write value in this way, it will give me the wrong. It will give me the wrong this thing. You can see that red underline is there. So it gives this thing. Let me write. That means there is an error. Still there is an error. Yeah, the keyword. Correct.
okay, it's a keyword. Okay. It's a standard keyword. Okay.
Yeah. See, I've still written value error, but undefined name value error. If there is an underline, that means some error is there. So I have to just remove that and I have to write capital B. Then it goes away. Then same thing will happen.
And if you want to give any user defined, is it possible? Means suppose, let's say if we want to put our own variable, something, if you want to user define, okay, that right now, I mean, it is right now it is inbuilt. Okay, I mean, this value error is the inbuilt.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Mithila, please, there's some disturbance from your side. Okay. All right. So I hope the concept is clear. And see, this is just the understanding of the concept I've explained here. There will be so many other things also. You are asking very good questions, and that's really nice, you know. And we can also, you know, we will see that, you know, all those questions which you are asking, we'll see all those situations also. But this is first time I'm just explaining the concept. So this is just for the basic understanding of the concept I'm showing here. There will be so many trial and errors and so many, the ways you can write the code. So this is how we can handle the value error and the index error. Okay, so this is for the exception handling in Python. Now the time is almost over. So if I go to the next concept now, it is going to take more time. So unnecessarily the time will be extended. Now I will stop here and we will continue with the meditation. Okay. Thank you so much. And you know, all the questions which you are asking, just try to experiment with the code which you are writing in the Replit or whatever the ID which you are using. So you can just remove some keywords, see what is the output you are getting. Just try to make some changes. So that's how we have to experiment. If we do that, we will get the answers. And if we are not getting the answers, simply we can go on internet. There are so many resources we can refer and we can get the answers. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for attending the session. And we will continue with the meditation now.
Thank you, Anurag. So as usual, we follow a trend in our mind empowerment session. Today we'll take one quality that will help empower our mind. And that quality is of introversion. So let's sit back and relax. And just for a few moments, contemplate on what introversion actually means. It is turning within and processing a lot of thoughts, a lot of emotions, processing situations, processing beliefs, processing expectations, processing ambitions, aspirations, desires. As opposed to extroversion, where we are scattered, we could be focused on something, but in extroversion, we are lacking a foundation. So we propel towards a goal, an aspiration, towards any activity that we pursue, but without a baseline foundation. In other words, we are pursuing engaging by the mere need and desire. With minimal emphasis on the underlying understanding of what's driving us to pursue it. It would be wrong to say that we are blindly engaging in something. It would be more accurate to say that we haven't analyzed ourselves thoroughly before we are engaging into something. And this is where introversion plays its role as a mind empowerment technique. Because it gives us clarity of why we are pursuing or engaging into anything. It could be a hobby, it could be a relationship, it could be an activity, it could be anything, professional, non-professional, family matter, personal matter, social matter, anything. So let's get to what we achieve by introversion now. Let's take the example of just this session that we attend on a weekly basis, an activity that we are pursuing. On the very surface, why are we pursuing? To improve our skill set, to have a better career. Now, using introversion, let's go under the surface and truly understand the need for this pursuit, the core need. Yes, I will get a great career. I might switch my job. I will enjoy that job. I'll get paid better. I'll keep advancing and progressing in my career. All good. But at the end of the day, what's the bottom line? The bottom line is, I feel good. And when we ignore this bottom line, what happens? The same pursuit can lead me to not feeling good. If I can't get the job that I want, do I feel good? Is frustration a good energy? If I succeed, I feel good. If my expectations are met, I feel good. If my ambitions are on target, I feel good. But if they are not, do I still feel good? Because the bottom line of life is feeling good. So as long as I can direct my life through every pursuit, every engagement, every activity, with an introverted attitude, that no matter how this journey ends, no matter what the quality of this journey is, of my pursuit, neither will I allow myself to not feel good during the process of the journey or the pursuit, or the end result of the journey at its destination. Because my bottom line is to feel good. My bottom line is not to get a great job. It is to feel good. That doesn't mean I do not aspire to learn to get a great job. I definitely do. But while doing so, I do not lose focus on the core aspects of why I'm pursuing anything. So with introversion, I have full clarity. Of what outer achievements and what inner state I have to regulate myself through. That is an empowered mind. And this state of empowered mind stays stable in the midst of failure and success. In every duality, it stays stable. Because feeling good is 100% in my control. Rest, everything is controlled by external factors. A very powerful mind empowerment technique is to first go into introversion. Analyze, process every desire, ambition, expectation, need, goal. Analyze it to its very core. That eventually, what will I attain out of it? Bottom line, I take a vacation, I plan for the cruise, I plan for a holiday to Europe. I start planning. I take the vacation. Something goes wrong there. I lose my peace. I don't enjoy. I come back. Thinking and feeling that I spent so much money, things went wrong. Not as I expected. I didn't enjoy my vacation. I missed my flight. The whole itinerary got affected. I'm rushing through things. Did I meet my bottom line? I went to enjoy. And I enjoy regardless of whatever happens. I live to enjoy. I live to feel good. And I will feel good no matter what happens during the day. That is self-mastery. And that is an empowered mind. So let's conclude our session today, taking this homework that whenever I wake up every day in the following week, I turn within and set my bottom line, that what is it that I need to feel good, and how will I manage myself and maneuver myself through the challenges and the busy lifestyle of the day to meet my goal of feeling good. How will I regulate my inner state by not going into an ecstasy of happiness when I achieve something, and also not going into an extreme state of disappointment when I don't achieve it, when some expectation or desire is not met? How do I stabilize these extreme energies and live and drive my day in a very neutral gear? With very few fluctuations. That help me stay detached from every aspect of the day-to-day life, more focused on how I'm feeling, how stable I am, as I cover my journey on a day-to-day basis. So that's the power of introversion. Assessing and analyzing the self. And not losing focus from the bottom line. So very simple technique. As we wake up, we align with our true and core needs, the bottom lines. And throughout the day, we check and we change. We change our outlook, we check how we feel, and we change our outlook towards anything that helps us not deviate from how we feel. the standard that we set for ourselves in the morning, we check and change throughout the day. And at night, just for a few minutes, we assess. We assess our own performance. We assess our own actions. We assess where and how we gave importance to the wrong things and not to how I feel. And as we assess ourselves, we learn, we grow, we get better. At redirecting our attention, our focus, our energies on how we feel. And not on other aspects. Like how we want things to be. Because if I want something, this I want will 100% lead me to fluctuations in my state of mind and how I feel. I should want. We are not saying that we shouldn't want anything. We should want it. But while we are wanting it, we should pass it through a filter of how we are feeling as we are wanting it. That's self-care. That's the high alertness of an empowered mind. That's the advantage of introversion. So thank you everyone for joining today's session. We look forward to seeing you on next week. Thank you.